When the Mongols, led by Batu Khan and Subadai, conquered the many Russian states, a new era had begun. The Mongols brought thousands of phrases to the Russian language, indirectly the talented Cossack mercenaries that we'll learn about eventually, and a new semblance of unity against them. Let's take a deeper look, shall we? From 1237 to 1240, the Mongols conquered Russia. They did this mainly via their brilliant tactics, the feigned retreat, ambush, and attacks in waves. The only country they didn't conquer was the Novgorod Republic, because it was both cold and big. Like modern Russia, after the conquest, the Teutonic Knights, crusaders that conquered parts of Europe, thought that they could conquer Novgorod, but Alexander Nevsky, its head of state, defeated them at the Battle of the Ice, named so because they fought on a lake, which Nevsky skillfully lured them to. Batu Khan established a Khanate of the Golden Horde to administer the conquered Rus, but it's in the larger empire. The Mongols had an extremely efficient bureaucracy, with 2 governors for each region, a Baskaki/military governor, and a Durugi, an economic governor. The Mongols in Russia were known as Tatars, and the most important way they governed Russia was by naming the Grand Prince among the Rus. Potential Grand Princes had to purchase the right to be Grand Prince. The main revenue source to the Tatars was potential princes buying the throne, and the Grand Princes collecting tribute from the Rus, which they had to pay unless they liked this. As Grand Princes, they A. had influence over the other states, second only to the Tatars, and B. they had the right to collect the Tatar tribute, and secretly take a little from the total. Most princes were either from Moscow or Tver. 3 notable Grand Princes were Ivan Kalita, Michael I, and Ivan II. Ivan K was best at slicking Tatar tax. Both Ivans bought territory, and Michael was the first Tver Grand Prince. Tver was founded in 1246 by the relatives of Alexander Nevsky, who ruled Vladimir Suzdal as well. Side note, each Grand Prince in Tatar Russia received the patent to directly control Vlad Suzdal, whose princes were Grand Princes. For many decades now, impressively, it could rival the Moscow Duchy until it was annexed in 1485. So to Tver's Super Mario, Moscow was its Bowser. Moscow was founded by Nevsky's 2-year-old, Daniel I, in 1272, and he was peaceful and religious. But when one prince invaded his land with Tatar aid, he defeated them at Pereyaslavl and treated that prince well during peace negotiations. So from the treaty, Daniel became the first Muscovite Grand Prince, and the Golden Horde, founded in 1227, was at its peak under the Muslim Uzbek Khan. It declined after 1347, ending by 1465. So what was everyone else doing? Vlad Suzdal was ruled by a Grand Prince and a Prince now. Prince Constantine and his son rebuilt the state for the mid-1200s but declined after. Novgorod had complete independence of Tatar influence. Kept trading, but in the late 1300s, a series of wars against Moscow ultimately ended it. Galicia-Volhynia had a complex political position, but it was truly a great power in Central Europe, and there was literature, trade, and all good things possible. But in the 1300s, GV was ruled by weak kings and was conquered by Poland-Lithuania in 1352. Pereyaslavl collapsed before this in the 1210s. Chernigov in the 1240s was divided and directly controlled by the Tatar Khan for a time. Over the first half of the 1200s, Polotsk was integrated into Lithuania. Smolensk always surrendered to the biggest army. This period in Russian history changed the world forever. Because of the colder climate of the 1200s, the Mongols spread across the world and made an enemy that the Rus and others could unite against. They caused population shifts into Novgorod, aided Moscow and Tver's growth by attacking lesser states, and this period also made the trade-happy city of Moscow. And because of Muscovite trade, it was rich and attracted many people, including the Orthodox Church in 1325. But Russia was still constantly under threat of Tatar raids, and was often pillaged. Russia needed to be liberated.